Going on YouTube? RDAP Dan here, Federal Prison Time Consulting. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Hope you guys are all having a great night, great week, great new year, all of that good stuff. I'll give you guys a few minutes to join in here and catch up with us. It is 7 p.m. East Coast time, so hopefully you West Coasters are able to make it and watch as well. The show, there's nothing going to be too special tonight. Tonight we're really just talking and promoting for next Wednesday, as we're going to have two awesome guests next Wednesday. One of them, one of them is a client, and one of them is one of our affiliates, Tom Root, who does a lot of work with us. And many of you have met Tom Root. He's been on the show a couple of times. We're going to have him back next week, so go ahead and look forward to that next Wednesday. We're going to be talking about compassionate release. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you take a moment and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn on your notifications by pressing the little bell, and yeah, all that good stuff there. So we'll give you guys a couple more minutes here and see what we got going on. So who's joining us tonight so far? Who do we got in the room? And again, some of you caught the video last night, had some amazing results with a client out on the West Coast who him and his wife were sentenced. They were sentenced to 19 months and 10 months. They were expecting much potentially larger sentences according to pre-sentence reports. The husband was facing a little over 100 months and the wife at one point was facing around 70 months, received a 10-month sentence, a 19-month sentence. And it was just amazing to watch it. I was able to go witness this. I flew up there last week. I was able to sit at the sentencing. So to hear this outcome, to see this outcome, truly amazing. Like I said, the attorney did an amazing job. Maybe once everything's all said and done, it's still an ongoing case with some other issues going on there. Maybe when it's all said and done, they'll come on and do a live interview, a couples interview, and we'll see how that goes. But tonight, we are talking about compassionate release. Many of you have questions about compassionate release. Who qualifies? Do you have to be elderly to qualify for compassionate release? What are the ins and the outs? When can you apply? Just really a full kind of outlining guide as to what it looks like, how the First Step Act, and I apologize, I'm going to be getting over this cold for several weeks, so you have to deal with the coughing. How does the First Step Act work in conjunction with compassionate release? Does it give any benefits to it? And absolutely does. We're going to be talking to expert Tom Root next Wednesday. He actually assisted us with one of our clients who's also going to be on the show next Wednesday, who was not supposed to be released until 2022. She was given a 42-month sentence. She was in for just over a year, and we were able to help her get compassionate release. She was actually released the day after Christmas, just this past Christmas. She's home with her family. She's on probation. They didn't release her to home confinement. They released her straight to start her supervised release. So she's completely done with the BOP. Now she's dealing with supervised release through the courts. So looking very forward to having her and Tom Root on next Wednesday. That's going to be where our discussion focuses on. So what do you guys all got going on tonight? Anything good? It's a little bit later than we've been doing the videos, but hopefully you guys are able to catch this stream and have some benefit. Hopefully many of you have questions. If you have any questions or concerns on whether or not you can qualify for First Step Act, there is a link in the description of this video where you can go ahead and book your free consultation, and we can talk to you about you or your loved one's situation to see what it might look like for them. Other than that, like I said, this video is just a quick video that we want to put out for next Wednesday. We want as many of you to join us as possible. It's going to be a live interview. We're going to have my client and Tom Root on here, so we'll be live. You'll be able to ask your questions. Maybe you've got some great questions that can add value to others. Maybe some of you have actually already tried to go through this process. Maybe it didn't work, and maybe you don't know what you did wrong, or maybe you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe it just wasn't in your cards. So we do want to discuss options for individuals that are looking to maximize and minimize how much time they're looking at the prison by maximizing the opportunities and the programs that are available. Again, if you're looking for anything from basic qualifications for the residential drug abuse program, if you're trying to find out more information on the First Step Act, if you're trying to find out what you can do to work on personal narratives, character reference letters, building your community outreach, working with our mindset coach, Jenny, who also was mentioned at the sentencing that I went to last week. The attorney spoke of Jenny and how she was able to really pull out real responsibility and taking accountability from our clients and articulate this to the judge, where we really do feel that it had a huge impact on sentencing, from what their guideline ranges were to the sentences that they received were drastically reduced. Hey, Michael Sean Riley, how are you doing? You spent some time in, right? I think you're out now. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And again, guys, this video today is just a quick video, so we're not here to really tell you what you need to do to qualify for compassionate release. However, if you are interested in compassionate release for yourself, compassionate release is not strictly based on an age. You can have several mitigating circumstances that potentially could qualify for compassionate release. You could be a caretaker, you could have a sick child, you could have things going on with your family, various reasons as to why somebody could benefit from from some of these programs that have really got a nice spike from the First Step Act. So again, First Step Act questions. Maybe you've got some First Step Act questions. Since we'll have Tom on next week, even though we're going to be specifically talking about First Step Act and how we were able to shorten one of our client sentences through that and bring her straight to probation, we can also get off track a little bit and talk about First Step Act questions you may have surrounding that. So unless you guys have any other questions or comments that you want to share with us or the group, I just wanted to jump on here for a few moments to talk to you guys. We're in the new year. I've been sick as a dog for close to a month now, and then I traveled to Washington State, where didn't help at all. The cold weather, inhaling, not being able to breathe. Just trying to get back on track now. So we'll be back here making some more content for you guys, some more regular videos. We've got some awesome interviews coming up here in the next couple of weeks. And we're actually going to be doing a appreciation video tomorrow, where we're probably going to give some nice, there's a lot of individuals out there that have truly turned their life around, especially convicted felons specifically, that have spent time in prison, even more specifically, that have really turned their life around. Some of them have created YouTube channels, some of them created podcasts, some of them have created outside businesses outside of social media. And I really want to take a minute tomorrow to appreciate some of them and let you guys know that are getting ready to go into prison that many of you think this is going to be like a defining moment. And it really is a defining moment, but what you choose to do with this moment coming forward and coming in front of you. Like Michael, you're facing up to 150 months. That is a chunk of change, so much that it made me cough again. Just kidding. The flu's making me cough. But a lot of you think that whatever it is that you're going through is so bad and so unforgivable, and that nobody's going to understand, nobody's going to give you a second chance. Employment, dating, all of these things are going to be potentially off limits to you. And I promise you, this is why we want to do an appreciation video tomorrow to some individuals who have really turned their life around and made some serious past negative choices work for them to create a huge positive influence in helping others become better, growing their businesses, creating ClickFunnels, YouTube followers, podcasters. It's amazing to see individuals that have taken something that will shut so many others down. So many people don't want to talk about their experiences. So many people want to pretend like it never existed. So many people are ashamed and embarrassed. And those two words, shame and embarrassment, it really does prevent you from growing, healing, and coming outside of your shell, busting through that ceiling and doing things that you never thought you could do before, specifically with a conviction, felony, serving prison time. It's no easy feat to get over what you're going through. And for many of you, like Mike in the room right now, what you're dealing with right now, facing 150 months, I can't imagine what that feels like. There was one point when I was going through my case that I was looking at, up to 20 plus years if I had not worked out some sort of a plea agreement, taking accountability and acceptance responsibility for what I did. But the fact that you're facing that type of time, that's a lot of time you're facing, and you have to work a little extra hard to really be able to root yourself, stay focused on the work, put in the due diligence, do what you need to do, work on your letters, work on what you're doing in your community. You have one shot when you go at that sentencing, when you stand in front of that judge, and you have to do your best to bring as much perception as possible so that judge can perceive you as somebody that is doing things for the right reason, not just because you're trying to get a shorter sentence. So you really do have to go above and beyond. And that goes for everybody, not just those of you that are facing long sentences, but all of you that are facing some prison time. If you're just sitting back and you're on cruise control and you're just going through the basic motions with your attorney and signing your little acceptance of responsibility letter, I promise you that's great because you'll get some sort of reduction on your sentence, but that's not what's really going to set you apart from all the other individuals in a similar situation to you. Don't compare yourself to everybody else that's going through. Don't compare yourself to murderers and rapists thinking, well, I didn't kill anybody, I didn't rape anybody, the judge is going to see that. Don't assume that. You have to compare yourself to individuals that are just like you. Most of you, many of you, nonviolent, first-time offenders, white-collar, blue-collar criminals, whatever you may be. There's a million people just like you that are also going to be going in front of that same judge that judge has seen in the past. And if you don't do something different, if you don't create a different opportunity, if you don't show a potential showing that you're not like everybody else that he's seen, you're working harder, you're doing things that they haven't seen, your narrative is on point, your reference letters are on point, your involvement in the community, you've started repaying restitution, making any attempt at all, creating all of this momentum can really create the outcome that you're looking for, whether it be a reduced sentence or the possibility of probation. We have somebody getting sentenced tomorrow, and we've put in a lot of work on these individuals, a little over 2 years. I believe their guideline range is, I want to say, it's facing right around 60 months at the high end, 40-something months on the low end. And we've put so much work and effort into this that we're really hoping for a much more favorable outcome, potentially probation. So I will share, and I've been given permission to share that information with you guys tomorrow on the outcome of the situation. Hey, Tamara, what's going on? Tamara, got your email, working on that with Tom. So we should have something prepared for you, hopefully by the end of the week. Just battling this cold, so I'm trying to stay off the phone as much as possible because talking obviously brings out the coughing. Alma Williams, my daughter just got 12 months in state jail. 12 months in a year and a day, or just 12 months? So she just got 12 months. I don't know what state she's in, but probably doesn't get any good time if it was just a straight 12 months. I'm assuming it's like a county jail experience. But if you want to give us some more information on that, feel free, and we can see what we can do for you. But in opportunity or situations like that, there's usually not a lot that can be done. Gifted Fingers, thank you very much, Dan, for all this great content. Quick question, would I still be able to get RDAP if I didn't mention a drug addiction in my PSR report? More than likely not, if there's no mention of substance abuse in your PSR. I would, if you were hiring us, or you were interested in hiring us to assist you, I would have two questions for you. First, do you actually have or had a drug addiction prior to the arrest for the instant offense? And two, if you do have a substance abuse problem, I'd want to know why it wasn't disclosed into your pre-sentence report. What you would need to do is have a substance abuse evaluation done, ideally before you go into prison, because it's just easier to communicate with the substance abuse professional before you go into prison, and have it go to either the RDAP coordinator at the prison or the prison psychologist. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I can tell you that if you do have a substance abuse problem and it was not documented in your PSR, unless you've got some medical histories or some doctor's information showing that you did have, maybe you were in rehab or you had treatment or you were getting prescriptions, there would need to be some kind of a surrounding around this to create the reasoning as to why it wasn't mentioned in the PSR. I know many people don't mention it in the PSR that do have substance abuse problems, either out of fear or embarrassment, thinking somehow it's going to get them in more trouble. Their attorney told them not to mention anything, which of course you're finding out now that can be a lethal dose of additional time, or not getting the sentence reduction and also not getting the help that you wanted. You got to be real careful. I do not condone anybody or advocate anybody creating addiction that doesn't exist just for the purposes of getting into the program. You're cheating the system, potentially putting yourself into more danger, and more importantly, there's limited seats in these programs. So if you take advantage and you lie and cheat your way into the program, there's a real addict out there that's potentially going to get turned away because there's not enough space in the program, and somebody else is taking that seat just to get the time off, where somebody else is going to now go through the prison system without getting any help, go back onto the street, and likely reoffend. So these are questions that I would have for somebody that wants to get into the program that did not mention it in their pre-sentence report. We did what we could to help bring down a very, very unethical, shady company, RDAP Law Consultants. God, it's been over a year, 2 years now since we released the video. Over a year now since they were indicted. I believe they've all taken their plea deals. They're all getting ready to go to prison. So the last thing we want to do is even if it's indirectly, mistakenly help somebody get into the program that's trying to game the system. So as long as you're not trying to game the system, and you can be honest and open with us, and if, like you just said, your attorney told you not to mention it. I don't know if your attorney's willing to fall on the sword on this one and say, hey, yes, here's a letter. I told my client not to mention this because of this, this, and this, not understanding the ins and outs of RDAP. But yes, I do believe that would be a good reason to get a substance abuse evaluation done from a chemical dependency professional. We work with a couple different ones that really understand the system, understand how it works, understand the wording, understand how RDAP works, to make sure that what is being given to the RDAP coordinator is what the RDAP coordinator wants to see. It's going to cover the dates, the timelines. Nothing's going to be falsified. We're not going to put words in your mouth, but we're able to take your information and make sure it's documented and provided to a RDAP coordinator where no dates are missing. It's real important that you have that 12-month history documented strong, the 12 months prior to the arrest on the instant offense of the arrest of the indictment. So yes, we can definitely talk about that. I hate my life, 49 months it is. Well, like I said, gifted. If you want, there's a consultation link. It's free. You can fill it out. Maybe we can talk. Maybe there's something that the substance abuse provider can do to help you offset, because 49 months is plenty of time to get in, take the program, knock a year off, and plus your good time. And I don't know what your crime was for, but if you're your first time nonviolent offender, you might also qualify for the First Step Act. So there is potential benefit, there is potential light at the end of the day. But even if you have to do the whole 49 months, you're not going to do the whole 49. You're going to get your good time, you're going to get some halfway house. So you will do less than that. And you should actually write down that statement right now. You should take that statement and write it down and put today's time and date and just say, RDAP Dan told me to write this down, just in case you wonder why you wrote it down. Put it somewhere and read that when you get released from prison. And I promise you, you're going to look back and go, it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I got through it. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. I'm probably in better shape than I was when I went in. Use this time. I know it's easier said than done right now. That's why I said write it down, because I don't expect you to go, woohoo. I'm all excited. I'm going to prison. Trust me, I felt like I was on my fucking deathbed when I was getting ready to go to prison. 42 months sounded like the end of the world. And when I got in there, my first couple of days, and I looked out the window and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is going to be where I live for the next 2 to 3 years, or 3.5 years. It really was a little bit adjustment period. But after a couple of days turned into a couple of weeks. I was into an amazing routine. I was getting in shape. I met some amazing people. I was taking classes, teaching classes. All in all, if you asked me, did I enjoy more of my prison experience or did I not enjoy most of my prison experience? I would say the scale would definitely weigh out to I really benefited from my time. There wasn't a day in there where I didn't want to go home and be back with my friends and family. But there also wasn't a day that went by where I wasn't proactive and I wasn't appreciative for the ability of everything that was around me that I was able to do with my time. It's a mindset. They're going to lock you up. You're going to be there, but I promise you, if you choose to keep your mind free, you can stay out. You can keep your mind out. You're going to find things that are going to give you that freedom feeling, whether it's walking the track, listening to music, writing letters, reading a book, taking a class. There's many things in there that you can do to free your mind, but you have to. There's an adjustment period. You got to go through the adjustment period. Simple as that. Alicia, my husband was told out of 48 months he should be in a halfway house by 33 months, home by 42. Let's do the math. See what you got on that. Let's grade you. Let's grade whoever told their math. So 48 months times 0.85 is going to bring you to 40 months minus, let's call it 6. That's pretty close. 6. He would need 6-7 months of halfway house, and where he would go right to the halfway house. And if he got 6 months of halfway house, he would only serve about a month and a half in the halfway house because you can do 10% of your sentence on home confinement. So he can do almost 5 months of his sentence on home confinement. So if he got 6-7 months of halfway house, he would serve a month, 2 months, and then more than likely he'd be kicked to straight home confinement, do the rest of his time at home. Time goes by. My 42 months flew, as you guys know, but I was very fortunate. I took full advantage. I worked every angle that I was able to work without getting myself in trouble. I was able to qualify for RDAP, got a full year off for that. Also was given 11 months halfway house in addition to the good time given to me up front. So roughly, 6 months good time, a year for RDAP, 11 months halfway house. We're talking 2.5 years off of a 42-month sentence. Made a huge difference how much time actually spent in the actual prison. So one day at a time, you got to look at what's in front of you. You got to look at your options. You got to look at what's available to you. There's a lot of programs that are coming out with the First Step Act. We're seeing it more and more taking advantage. There's other places like Sheridan right now. We just had one of our clients or one of our family members for the client told us that Sheridan case manager, so a specific case manager, wasn't going to give any halfway house to people that had homes to go to, which I've never seen that before. So I don't know if they were just in a bad mood when they told the individual this, or if that's really how it's going to play out. But you got to remember, the BOP has the final say. There's nothing a consultant or there's nothing anybody out there can do. A consultant, an attorney, nothing that anybody can do to make the BOP do something that they don't want to do. Our job as consultants, or at least what our job should be, is to guide you, to explain information to you, to give you a roadmap of here's all of the things that you can do to influence a much better outcome. Influence. There's no guarantees. If anybody was able to give a guarantee, if I could guarantee you early release, if I could guarantee you RDAP, if I could guarantee X amount of halfway house, if I could guarantee home confinement, if I could guarantee early termination off of supervised release, these are all services that we provide advice on and direction and creating the outcome that you're looking for by putting in the hard work and the effort so you don't waste your time going in the wrong direction. But if we could guarantee those services, there would be name your price, So that's why we keep our prices affordable, because we know the risk you're taking. The risk you're taking is you're looking for guidance in a world unknown to you. You're basically in upside down land. You are in uncharted territories and you don't know where to start. I can tell you though, our clients that truly take advantage of our services, that work it, pick up the phone and call us when they're having problems. They're not just going through some basic, we talk on Monday, let's talk on Monday. People that are actually engaging, what they all tell us is the peace that they're at when they finally end up either in prison or home confinement or probation or whatever it might be. When they get to the end, they're at peace with whatever's going to happen because they 100% internally know that they've done everything within their power that they could have done to create the best possible outcome. And if that best possible outcome means prison time, if it means within the guideline range or just below the guideline range, you might wish I wish I got a better sentence, right? But at the same time, you're not going to lay in your bunk and wonder what you could have done different. Things aren't going to be beating you up and eating you up inside. You're just going to say, okay, my judge, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. So that's when you got to kick into second gear and we start focusing on, okay, how can we potentially create the influence for some additional halfway house time? There's so many moving parts, and I apologize. I just saw somebody give a little donation here. Oh, Gifted Fingers, you're so underrated. I appreciate it, my man. A $9.99 much appreciated donation. That $10 right there that Gifted Fingers just sent, you have no idea how much that means to, because I think we've explained this before. The donations that you guys submit, whether it's through here or PayPal or however, Cash App, people send us weird donations all kinds of ways. All of the donations that we receive, we use for our individuals that are less fortunate within the prison system or getting ready to go into the prison system. You guys have no idea how much a cup of coffee means to somebody in prison when you're waking up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning and you're getting ready to go to work, and just having the resource to be able to buy a bag of coffee once every couple of weeks. A lot of people think, oh, they're in prison, they don't deserve any luxuries. This is what they get. It's easy to say that, but not everybody's a bad person that's in prison. Not everybody murdered somebody. Not everybody raped somebody. There's a lot of individuals that are in there that are regular, average Joes that made some poor choices. So gifts like that, donations like that, that's what they go to. We use those on a revolving door. We have so many individuals that you guys could donate $5,000 a month, and it wouldn't be enough to help everybody that needs the help. So when we get donations like this, it really does mean a lot. So again, Gifted Fingers, much appreciated. But like I said, Gifted Fingers, the consultation is free. So maybe I can give you some guidance. Maybe I can point you in a direction. Maybe there's something that you can do. I can kind of spell it out for you, what you need to go do with a chemical dependency professional, and you see where it goes. You've got a sentence long enough to where you can even work on this from prison. Again, I would really try to get your attorney to own up to a little bit of saying, hey, I told my client, I directed my client not to mention it, and this was the reason why. So use that link, set up a free consultation. What's the worst? It's not going to cost you anything. We'll have a little consultation, see where it goes. Tabitha Bryant, Dan, you've helped me in so many ways. I listen to your channel all the time, and it helps. Awesome. Appreciate it. Knowing what to expect. You guys remember G.I. Joe? At the end of every G.I. Joe episode, we're going to go back to like the 90s, late 80s. At the end of every G.I. Joe episode, after they said, "Go Joe," knowing is half the battle, and now you know. That was how they ended every episode. And the educational aspect of that, even as a kid, stuck with me. And it was like, wow, that's the truth. When you have questions and you can't get answers, and you would think with the millions of people that have gone in and out of the prison system, the federal prison system, you would think there would be more valuable content that's accurate. That's not just, oh, they passed this bill, this is going to happen. Oh, they changed this, they changed that. You would think there would be some valuable information to really kind of break down the basics of what takes place in a prison system. And there's just not. It's not enough out there. And I wish to God the channel would grow faster. I wish, it would go viral. We've had many, many offers, potential offers for reality TV shows, and there was only one that we were interested in that ended up not going anywhere. All of the rest we turned down. I was supposed to go on the TV show 60 Days In with A&E, but really looking more into that show. I was supposed to, right now the show's in Alabama. I was supposed to be there. I'd agreed. They were going to pay me money to go there, and literally the last minute, I looked at the value of this show and how they really kind of produce it, and said, this isn't the type of image that I want to really create. I don't want to go spend 60 days in a county jail and really just have to sit there and bitch and complain, and the whole show is really around people either getting beat up or extorted or the violence, and that's not going to help anybody that's getting ready to go to prison. That might help if you're going to go to county jail, but it's kind of a very Jerry Springer-y TV show, if you ask me. So, however, we do have an opportunity coming up now where we're just, and I can't really talk much about it, but a reality show that's actually specifically interested in prison consultancy directly. So they're very interested in following us and some of our clients and what you guys are going through. Now that is something I could get behind, because that is going to exploit and illustrate what individuals go through. Everybody talks so much smack about nonviolent individuals and white-collar individuals, how they go to these little cushy prisons. Yes, white-collar prison camps are not scary. White-collar low-security prisons are not scary. However, what people don't understand is most of us aren't sitting in a county jail awaiting sentencing, where we're getting ready for prison, where we're starting to understand where you're seeing the ins and outs. Most of us are sitting at home, which sounds great. Don't get me wrong. You're sitting at home watching TV, but the mental prison you start putting yourself in, thinking of all of these worst case scenarios of, oh my God, what's prison actually going to be like? And are people going to beat me up and extort me? And how am I going to explain this to my family? Is anybody ever going to forgive me? The torment that we go through in our mind because of the unknown world that you're getting ready to go to. In so many ways, that's worse than sitting in county jail, because I've had both. I sat in county jail awaiting for a bond, which took almost 3 weeks when everything first started. And I'm sitting in county jail, and honestly, I got used to it, just like you will. You get used to prison. I was in county jail. I'd get up. I'd go eat my breakfast. I'd go play cards. I'd go take my little hour on the rec yard. Spend most of your day locked in a 1 or 2 man cell. But you adjust. You know what to expect. When you're at home and you're watching TV on your couch, yes, you're staring at the TV, but your mind drifts off into, oh my God, I can't handle this. I'm going to run, or I'm going to commit suicide, because there's no way I can leave this life that I have to go to prison. You don't understand what prison's going to be like, so your mind manifests some outside, ridiculous, crazy aspect of of the crazy bullshit we see on TV. So I truly get it. And that's why I would be 100% behind doing this this potential TV show, reality show, whatever you want to call it, because of the direction that they want to go in with it, which is amazing. It would bring so much light and so much attention to what so many of you are going through. And whenever more and more attention is brought to something, more and more resources pop up behind it and become available. So, hey man, sign me up. I'm in. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Jenny? Well, Jenny joined us. I didn't know Jenny knew how to use YouTube. I thought her YouTube was either broken, or either that or she hated all of you guys and she didn't want to come on here and talk. It's the first time I saw Jenny in a while. What's going on, Jenny Good? Jenny Good is our life coach, our mindset coach. Jenny is crafting. Jenny's going to be doing an interview with me, and hopefully sometime, maybe next week or the week after that, we're going to be doing a voice interview with Jenny, because she's like the Wizard of Oz. She stays beyond the curtain. But we're going to do a voice interview with Jenny, and she's really going to break down. We have something brand new that's been in the works for a couple of months now, several months. Our Success Method program. It's more of a DIY, do it yourself, for those of you that can't afford the fee of anywhere from, depending on what it costs, anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, depending on what you get from us. We're going to have a package where you can get almost all of this presented to you in courses, where you can purchase this online for a fraction of the price. And Jenny has been helping us create this, and I'm very, very, very excited to share this with you guys. It's been something that I literally bite my nails. I have no nails left thinking about it. I've lost sleep thinking about it, because I know it's going to be a huge game changer, because the amount of work and the amount of involvement that we have with our clients, there's just certain things that we can't do for what some of you can or can't afford. So we want to really make sure that it's there and available for everybody, regardless of what your financial pocketbook looks like. First step acting. Oh, Jamie, how is the first step acting? I tried to read your message, but you retracted it before I could see it. How is First Step Act working so far? It's working for sure, Jamie. And we're going to have Tom Root on. In case you didn't see the beginning of this call, next Wednesday, we're going to have Tom Root and one of our clients that just got compassionate release. It was released the day after Christmas. But Tom Root is an expert on the First Step Act. And there's actually been a lot of movement on it. We've seen good time updates. They're starting to implement what programs are going to be affected. People are starting to get their assessments. There's a risk assessment that's done in the prison. It's right now... A lot of the prisons are doing it in 2-part interviews. So a lot of our clients have already gone through the first interview. They're waiting for the second interview to get assessed to find out exactly how much time they're going to get off. We do know that they're focusing on people with earlier release dates right now. So it's kind of it's not like this blanket where just everybody gets updated at once. It's almost like a one-on-one, person by person. So the prisons are definitely still unwrapping this and figuring it out and implementing it. And part of the problem is it, shit rolls downhill. So you've got, the people that are implementing it, and they're still updating case managers and unit team managers to how this stuff works. A lot of the case managers are just oblivious. They'll tell you, no, we're not doing anything. Nothing's changing. We're not going to give you any more halfway house time. What that tells me is they have not got the word yet. They have not been coached or taught or trained on how this is going to implement, because 100% people are going to see benefit in potential earlier releases. It's just a matter of when. There's supposed to be a big article coming out in March. I forgot the date, but we'll talk to Tom about that next week too. Tom Root, you guys should check out Tom Root. He's got an awesome legal column. It's called Legal Lisa Info. You can go to his website. Just Google Lisa Legal Info. Attorney will always say they never mention First Step Act during sentencing. That is only used by the Bureau. Thank you. Yes, because there's not much. The First Step Act, unless there are a couple of minor things that the First Step Act could adjust at sentencing. But for the average individual, first-time nonviolent offender, the First Step Act is more benefit of, once you're in the prison system, of reducing, giving you additional good time, not additional good time, but giving you additional good time credits towards halfway house / home confinement. Compassionate release has some amazing steps that are now available because of the First Step Act, where it's not just limited to the prison now. Courts can get involved. There's really quite a bit that came through the First Step Act, and we hope to see that keep getting embellished bigger and bigger as it starts to grow on itself. But right now, we just got to get the fundamentals down, and that's where people are really aggravated and confused. We get emails almost every single day from individuals in prison going, my dates haven't changed yet. What's going on? What's going on? Everybody's on the edge of their seat right now. So I can imagine if I'm getting those emails, I can only imagine if I was a case manager in the actual prison, that I would probably want to hide behind my desk and say that I'm out for the next month, because they're probably just getting inundated with inmate questions. And not every question is proposed in the best way that it could be said. I've seen some inmates lose their mind before and really start getting loose-lipped. And when you have people yelling at you all day long, and just picture the DMV line or the tax collector's office. Some of these people go in there, they're waiting in line for 3 or 4 hours, and they're missing one piece of paper, and they get sent out. And before they get sent out, they give that person a piece of their mind. And now whoever's next in line is gonna take a little bit of that beating. So patience is a virtue when it comes to this. It really is probably the most important asset you can have is developing patience, realizing that the BOP is not a fast moving system. Everything is very slow. It's on their time. There's really nobody to oversee or push it. Congress implemented these things, but Congress isn't really stepping in and saying, hey, get it done. Congress is giving the BOP plenty of time to make it happen. Jamie, thank you. Congratulations on your program. Oh, appreciate it. Thank you so much, my man. Guys, that's all I got. This video is way longer than it was supposed to be. This was just a little promo video for next Wednesday. I believe it's going to be mid to late afternoon. Our client's in Hawaii, so it's going to be her time, I think around 11:30 her time, which I believe is a 5-hour difference, so probably between 4:30 and 6 my time. We're going to be live with my client and Tom Root. And for those of you that can't make it live, don't freak out, because these videos are recorded. They stay on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch it on replay. The only difference is if you have the most amazing question, you won't be able to ask it live. You'll have to send a message, leave a comment. Leave comments. Comments are the best thing you can do, because other people see your comments and it encourages them to also comment. I know many of you are going through something that's a struggle, and you're afraid and you're fearful and you're embarrassed and you don't want anybody to know about it, but trust me, comment. You can comment on here, create a fake name, comment on the video. If you have something that you feel will be valuable for others to hear, comment. And if you feel like it's something that's so personal and you can't, you guys got my contact information. It's in the description of this video. You can email me, you can text me, call me. Can't promise that I'll pick up the phone. We get a lot of phone calls. That's why if you want to talk to me, there's a scheduling link in this in the video as well. It's a free scheduling link. You're not going to pay anything. It's a 15-minute consultation. If you think you need more than a 15-minute consultation, then yes, we do have a pay by the hour link where you can purchase an hour of my time and pretty much ask me anything you want. I would say kind of give me an idea of what your questions are going to be surrounding, to make sure before I take any of your money that it's at least in the realm of something that we can talk about. But yes, all right, you guys are awesome. I'll see you guys next week. I'm RDAP Dan, Federal Prison Time Consulting. Jenny, thank you for joining. Tomorrow, I'll get some information out to you this week. Zani Ray, didn't see you. Welcome. Thank you for joining. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. And again, I can't appreciate you enough. Gifted Fingers gave that awesome $10 donation. that will definitely make sure somebody either gets some hygiene products, some stamps, some coffee, something that they're going to need in prison that they wouldn't have gotten without your $10 donation. You guys have a great day. I love every single one of you. RDAP Dan, Federal Prison Time Consulting, people helping people, communities method, one day at a time. Peace.